Welcome back. It's Saturday morning, and we continue to pour some delicious beer talked right into your ear.
Welcome back to the program, Bob's Big Beer Show. Follow us on Facebook, Bob's Big Beer Show, and also the World Wide Web, 104.5 Bob FM. We're talking to we're talking to Chris and Steve, Opinionated Beer. Steve, let's go back to you. When you guys go about looking at beers to review, I mean, what's that process like?
I want a beer I've never had before. And sometimes I take recommendations. Sometimes I just grab something off the shelf. I love to shop at places where you can buy singles, 12-ounce bottles. Not so much the 22-ounce bombers, because they can add up in price. But if I can buy 6 singles and put together a 6-pack of different beers, that's what I go for. Unfortunately, I'm in the Atlanta area, and our beer laws are actually, until recently, were a lot more restrictive, and you couldn't do things like that. You couldn't even buy on a Sunday until a couple of years ago. Thankfully, that law was scrapped. But we still have a 3-tier law, though, in place where a brewer has to sell to a distributor who then sells to the retailer, which I think is against capitalism right there. That's a pet peeve of mine. But anyway, to answer your question, I'll go in and I'll look for new stuff. And sometimes it's a home run, and sometimes it's, fouled back to the catcher for an out. And, so I try to mix it up. I go with what's in season, what I'm in the mood for. Thankfully, I like a wide variety of beers. I tend to stick with certain styles depending on the season. I don't drink Hefeweizen in the middle of winter, for example. Usually. But really it's just guessing. I travel a bit, both on vacation with the family and occasionally for business. And when I do travel, I try to find something in that area. I have family in northern Wisconsin, for example. So every time I go up and visit them every summer, I come back with half a case of New Glarus beer.
You were talking about the 3-tier system, and that's exactly what we have here in Michigan. What would be the alternative to that?
The alternative to that, the 3-tier system benefits the large breweries, the folks that don't need the help. There is a huge lobby in place, both from the distributors who stand to make money and from the mega breweries who need the distributors. So their lobby is funneling money, a lot of money, into state governments to keep that system in place. The small breweries, they don't spend a lot of money on marketing. Everybody in that brewery is involved in brewing the beer. And when they bottle it, everybody in that brewery then goes and slaps labels on those bottles. And then they carry it out to a truck. Sometimes some small breweries here in Atlanta, they have volunteers that come in and they'll put labels on beer just to get beer up the door. And they'll get a 6-pack in return. The alternative is the small breweries can go from bar to bar and sell their own product to that bar directly. And they're happy to do it. They would love the opportunity to do it to increase the sales. But instead, they got to rely on a distributor. And that same distributor might also carry a huge amount of the large brewery's product. So is the small guy, is he going to get as much shelf space? Is he going to get as much notice from this distributor who is making a much bigger commission off of the big guys? It's simple economics. I don't blame the distributor, but I do blame the big government system that's in place that, they all want everybody, they all say they want a smaller government. They want less government intrusion. This is a classic example of government intrusion. You're preventing a small business from marketing their product. Personally, I think it's evil.
Yeah. Did you, either one of you or are either one of you home brewers?
No. I'm a horrible cook. My wife would be a great brewer. She's great with recipes, and I think she would make a great beer. Personally, I'm enjoying my time trying so many new commercially available beers from all over the world. This is a great time to be in America, because in America you find a greater variety of beers than anywhere else in the world. Anywhere, even Belgium, because we have Belgian styles, German styles, Asian styles. You have all that. And right now, I'm not bored by trying all those different styles from all over the world. When I feel that I've had enough, or if I hit the point where I think I can do better, I might give home brewing a try. But honestly, I'm enjoying what other people are making and helping them, grow their product.
We're talking to Chris and Steve from the Opinionated Beer page. Chris, where are you this morning? And also, what are the laws like there with regards to beer and craft beer?
I'm in Little Rock, Arkansas, and they're don't seem to be as bad as they are where Steve is at in Georgia. We've got so many new breweries opening up here in the last couple of years. The Kroger right by me is one of the, I think, 2 Krogers in the United States that just started selling growlers. And they're selling growlers, yes, from these small local breweries. So it's absolutely fantastic. Their beer aisle, in addition to that, is just stock full of local, national brands. You can get anything you want there, and it's.
I'm jealous. My local Kroger does not sell growlers, but I do have a growler store near my house.
Yeah, that's interesting because we don't have growlers for sale here either. So how does that work?
You go in, you get a growler. I forgot how much it is, and you just pick whatever beer. I mean, they've got a chalkboard behind.
Wow.
Behind a guy, and it's here are the beers of the day or of the week, and it's literally a bunch of just from Lost 40 Brewing, this beer, that beer. It's amazing.
Same thing for us. We have my local place has, I think they have 10 taps at a time, and you can get a growler that's either a small one that's about 2 pints and a large one that's about 4 pints, and the price range is anywhere from $8 to $25. You pay a deposit for the bottle, and they fill it up. You pay for the beer plus the deposit. The next time you bring the bottle back, they'll exchange it for a clean one. You don't have to pay another deposit because you're basically reusing a bottle, and so then you're just paying the price of a beer. That industry is growing big time in Atlanta.
Yeah, but what I'm hearing Chris say is that you can go to, say, a big box store and get a growler. Is that right?
Yeah, that surprises me. But Atlanta is still a bit behind, surprisingly, with the beer laws.
Wow. Yeah, I could see if I could go to, say, a Meyer, which is big here, and get a growler of beer, I can see that being huge.
Yeah,
it is huge. They're doing a fantastic business with it there.
All right, so let's start with Chris. What do you have in your fridge today? What's taking up your fridge space?
I am making my way through the last box of my sampler pack that I bought, which is a bunch of shanties.
Oh, okay.
A bunch of different shanty. I forgot who brews them. They're not all that good. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, it is mine. I'm not a big fan of shanties, I've found.
Right. Yeah. I think that's an acquired taste. All right, Steve, what do you have in your fridge?
Oh, I got a huge variety. I've got Samichlaus from Austria. It's a nice 14% lager. It's brewed every Christmas. I've got a lot of stuff still from Wisconsin from my last vacation. So I got a lot of New Glarus beer. I have some Capital Brewing from Middleton, right near Madison, Wisconsin. I have Oso Brewing and Central Waters. Central Waters is just east of Stevens Point. What else? Of course, I got some Not Your Father's root beer. My cousin is a friend of the brewer there in northern Illinois, in Wakanda. I have some locals. Atlanta has a few really, really good local breweries. Terrapin and Sweetwater. So the microbrew scene is greatly improving here. We do have a limit on the alcohol percentage in Georgia. I believe it's 14 or 15%.
Holy,
you can't sell, you can't sell beer higher than that. But there's a lot of 18% beers out there now.
You said you have a 14% beer in your fridge?
I have 5.
Holy moly!
Yeah. Some states, they don't have a limit at all, which is great, like New Jersey, where Chris and I are both originally from. You could get higher than that. Atlanta capped it at that because there's a perception that, or Georgia, the state of Georgia capped it because there's a perception that high school kids would then go and buy that high alcohol beer. The thing is, a 12-ounce bottle of 14% beer costs about $8.
Yeah.
So a high school kid is
exactly.
not going to buy that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do have a few of those. I like a good Belgian ale that tends to be around 10 to 12%. So I have a couple of those as well. So yeah, quality over quantity.
And now you know why I leave the reviewing to him.
Yeah, no kidding. Holy cow. The Opinionated Beer page, TOBP.com. Chris and Steve, thank you very much. This was fantastic. I really do appreciate your time. I see on the site that you've reviewed to date, a little over 1,500 beers?
Yes. Problem is that number should be a lot higher, but
okay.
Chris is kind of lazy, and he's going back to college, and he's got 2 kids and a full-time job, and sometimes the beer page kind of takes a back seat to everything. So,
well, come on, get with it. Steve's drinking those 17%ers, so no wonder. Good God. All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. We do appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
You're listening to the only local over-the-air beer show in the Traverse City region. It's Bob's Big Beer Show on 104.5 Bob FM.